I see that.
Yeah.
So if we can maybe just give it another 5 minutes, right?
Yes, yes, no problem.
Okay.
Yes.
Ntsiki, yes, engineer, can she share her screen now, or we wait for a little bit?
Let's just wait a little bit.
Okay, 5 minutes. I'll give you the indication. Let me just start and do the intro. And when I introduce you, after that, you can share your screen.
All right, thank you. Okay, no problem.
Hello to you, everyone. I'm back again with another great session on behalf of the Masterclass Initiative and Get Jobs Nigeria. My name is Ayanda Moropani, your hostess all the way from the beautiful country of the United Arab Emirates. And I'm so pleased to be with you today as we bring you another great session that you've come to appreciate from Get Jobs Nigeria. We have a great speaker with us today, all the way from the south of Africa, indeed South Africa, and I'll be introducing her shortly. On behalf of Get Jobs Nigeria and the Masterclass Initiative, we are so pleased that you could be part of the conversation today, and we hope that you'll find this session not only insightful, but practical and helpful, taking into consideration the previous few weeks, the occurrences that have been happening, and how youth have been taking a stand all over the world to fight for their rights. So before we get into the session and before I actually introduce the speaker for the day, we're just going to take a quick commercial break and we will be right back. Just for your interest, we are also live streaming on Facebook. So hello to you, our audience on Facebook. Get your friends. You really want to have them be part of this conversation today. And I want to encourage you to keep on following us on social media, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. We are everywhere. So please follow us, connect with us, as we want to help you to keep up to date with all the future events that are happening, and also to keep you up to date with the job market and all the interesting things that you need to know, not only as a new entrant into the job market, but as you grow in your career as well. So we'll be taking a quick short commercial break and we'll be right back.
Hello everyone, my name is Bamidele Idris. I founded Get Jobs in 2017, a fast-growing job platform in Nigeria with the desire to bring job opportunities and career development to every unemployed youth. In Nigeria, where unemployment is currently pegged at 23.1% and may hit 33.5% in 2021. This is according to Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA. I set up this group to bridge the gap between employers and employees. We started this group in 2017 with just 10 members, and we have risen to over 25,000 members in August 2020. We have over 300 documented job successes. Get Jobs has partnered with over 20 organizations and several top professionals. According to Mark Zuckerberg, the challenge for our generation is creating a world where everyone has a sense of purpose. To keep our society moving forward, we have a generational challenge to not only create new jobs, but create a sense of purpose. Thank you.
And on that note, we just want to take a moment to recognize all the great accomplishments that Get Jobs Nigeria have, accumulated over the last year. Engineer, you've done a great job in helping to secure, roles for some of the platform members. Get Jobs has done a phenomenal job, and we hope that you continue to do the great job that you're doing. And just before I introduce the speaker, I just want to share with you some quick house rules, everyone. All microphones will be muted during this time, apart from myself and the facilitator. We are recording this session, and you will be able to, look at it or watch it again, share it with your colleagues and friends on the Get Jobs Nigeria webpage and on YouTube as well. So please subscribe to the channel, because there's many previous sessions that you might have missed that you may like to recap or review again. And we will also be, I'm not sure, Engineer, do you have certificates for participation this time around or not?
Yes, we will.
Oh, fantastic. So for those of you who
Yes.
participated, we will be sharing the participation certificates. So be on the lookout for that and contact us so that you can be able to receive your certificate of participation. We will be now moving over to introductory of our great speaker today. She is coming from the south of Africa, South Africa. Her name is Ntsiki Ncoco, and she is a powerhouse indeed. She's CEO of Otila Global Consultancy and also the founder of Power to Lead with Integrity. And she is part and board member of some significant agencies where she is utilizing her experience, her wisdom, and knowledge to empower young people and leadership in how to lead with integrity. I'm not going to steal the thunder from her. I'm going to allow her the opportunity to toot her own horn, so to speak, and represent herself better than I can. So without further ado, I hand over to you, Ntsiki. Welcome to the Masterclass Initiative and Get Jobs Nigeria session. Thank you for agreeing to be part of the conversation today, and we look forward to what you have in store for our audience.
Good evening, Ayanda. Thank you so much for having me, and thanks to Nigeria, Master Class Initiatives, and Get Jobs Nigeria, and Minds Connect. Thank you so much for having me this evening to share some insights on leadership with integrity. I'd like to share my screen so I'll be doing my introduction. Is that possible, engineer?
Go ahead, share your screen.
All right. I'm there on sharing my screen, but I want it to be full. I want it to be full on the. I've shared my screen, but now, why am I not getting full screen on my side?
I think, engineer, can you make co-host?
She's already a host.
So she's struggling to share her screen.
Okay. Let me check.
Yes, please. Yeah, I just want to have a full screen on my side.
Are you able to share?
I'm starting to share.
The full host.
Okay, now you can. Yeah, now you can share.
All right. Can you see the first slide on the side?
Not yet?
Yeah, not yet. Let me stop sharing and come back and share again. Let me come back and share. There.
Yes.
Once I go to sharing.
Yes, now we can see it.
We can see this.
You can see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you. My name is Ntsiki Ncoco. That's a short form of it. As being introduced already, this is the session for youth leading with integrity. So I just want to introduce myself in a slide like this. I have a quote. I always make sure that wherever I speak before, I would ask people to, yes, you can read great quotes from a lot of people, but can you have your own? Why are you here on earth? What is your quote? What will people remember you about when you have retired on earth? What people can read about you in your leadership and your integrity? Mine is leading with integrity is the beginning of a real journey of life to live with a true purpose and live an authentic legacy. That is from my heart, why I do what I do, why I wake up and get the energy to move on, to be inspired and also to inspire somebody. I am lately being identified and being assessed through a new a course that I've done, and that will be a course that will be also offering. I've been identified and been given a new title as a connector. I always thought I'm a catalyst because I start things and I do change. I get into a place and make things happen. But I've been told that finally, my key strength beyond the catalyst is of a connector. Hence, you see now Ntsiki Ncoco, the connector. And you would see at the bottom why I am a connector. I've just highlighted a few companies that are global that we work with and connected with, and make sure that, why am I doing this? It's because you have to align yourselves with companies that have the essence of integrity and the essence of Ubuntu and the essence of empowering people, the essence of inspiring, essence of being transparent, and also transforming lives of others and the leaders. Hence, you'll see us with the chief executives worldwide, and they are all over the world. As a positive news, we align ourselves with those who really portray the true integrity of anything that is happening around us. People who will tell us about positivity, even in the media space that takes up a lot of time in the industry. And they, most of media houses, they make sure that, and they say it, that bad news sell. So that's not integrity, but it's business for them. So we align ourselves with the SA Positive News for that fact. And then Global Chairwomen is a forum where we are empowering and training women for board positions. If you see around the world, the move is along the side of having women in the boards and having women taking the lead, in the leadership of the global nations. The latest of ours that we're celebrating now in South Africa is the new Vice Chancellor at the university, South Africa University. So UNISA has a new Vice Chancellor. For the very first time after 148 years, we have a female, and not just a female, a Black woman who will be leading UNISA. And then global, global youth. It's a global youth leadership forum, also based in Nigeria. And we are empowering youth. And what I like about youth of today, they are eager to learn. And there's this one word we're all speaking about, integrity, because we have seen what is happening around the world, that everything fell on the leadership because they led without integrity. And we have learned and evolved. There, we are coming on to teach about the new ways on the ICT environment, and to make sure that as we prepare youth for the Leadership Forum 2030, there's a big summit that we're all preparing for. And that leadership summit, it will not happen without fourth industrial revolution. Therefore, we have to be in the ICT learning space. World Women Conference and awards are also all over the world. And our mandate is to make sure we empower women, we empower youth, so that they can be in the forefront of leading with integrity. On that one, I also have an opportunity to be the leader of the training programs in Africa. And why I do this, it is part of the presentation of the youth leading with integrity. Let me start it on this note. Integrity is within you. You are born with goodness. You have the ability to inspire others when you grow up. So it's two-way. It's a value. Values, you have your high values. On the human behavior, you have your high values and you have your low values. But I just want to focus on your high values this evening. It is the goodness within you, that thing that you wake up and you want to do without a push from your parents, without a push from your manager. You need to identify it and know what you excel in, what you do without being drained in the day. But you make sure that when you have done that, you get satisfaction. And a lot of people think money is satisfaction. Money is good. and money answers everything. But money is not success. Money finds you on the way of your success. If your high values are really performed every day, that's where your integrity lies. And with it, that integrity of your high values will open doors for you, will make you be noticed of your strengths, and it will make you to be very significant in life. So if you are on this Zoom, Youth Leading with Integrity today, you are on the right space, and we are here to open up our mindset. Let's think beyond the box. And when I say this, I mean exactly what I said about your high values. Outside the box is that it is within you to take every responsibility to do good, to do right on earth. And thinking inside the box is that you have to have somebody who must inspire you. You must have somebody who must teach you. You must have somebody who must push you. You must be in a classroom for everything. Yet you have the inborn ability to wake up and do the right thing even before you go to school, even before you take up that great big position in the marketplace. So let's always think out of the box, especially in this era. We have experienced what we have never experienced before on earth through the pandemic. And I always say, when someone went for an interview, let's say even last year, when they ask you about your goals and aims for the next year, where do you think you'll be in the next year by this time? Everybody had a goal and had aims. You had them lined up. There are people who like to put things in paper. Everything was in paper. Did it all happen? No, it didn't. Hence, we have to be flexible of what is happening around us. It is good to make those goals, aims, and have your vision in place. But also, we have to be vigilant of the environment and around us that also, determines how we do things in the day. Therefore, all of us right now, we are not where we thought we would be by this time last year. Therefore, we have to be flexible, and we all had to change. Most of us, especially in the beginning of the pandemic, we had to lead ourselves with that integrity of being responsible for your own self where you are. Many people turned into working from home, and you were expected to be that kind of a manager, officer, official who is legible and who is working when you're supposed to be working from home. That's integrity. In a simple form, integrity is doing good and making things right, and wherever you are, without you being seen by anybody else. It's as simple as that. And the values of leadership. We have had so many programs that have done on this particular topic of power to lead with integrity, with other leadership forums. And this is very important for us right now. We have seen how our leaders, those that we have really trusted, those we have put our trust and our future in their hands, starting with, that hierarchy, the government, those that we voted for, we have seen how they have let us down. And we cannot sit back and cry and say, there they are, and there's nothing we can do. It is upon us to take up the responsibility right now, because we have seen it, we have experienced it, others have cried, others have lost hope, others have been lashing on social media. That is not going to help much until we take the responsibility of doing it, not just speaking about it. And we have to take that leadership role. Many youth forums have been taking the leadership role of, let's talk about it, let's dialogue. How can we start? How can we move from here? So we've been talking about the role of integrity in leadership. We have been talking about the leading the change. You are the future. I just want to stress that to you as a youth forum. There is no other future that we are looking up to and we're holding up to, and who is our next generation to take us to a better life. We cannot stress that further. Now you are at the age where you are taking good positions in the marketplace. You are at the age where you are taking responsibilities of even deciding about the future of the next generation. So it is now upon you as leaders, and in this forum masterclass, you have come so that we can inspire each other, we can empower each other, and we can get the tools of how do we do it? Where do we go from here? Now I'm suggesting and putting it to you that it is your time. It is the responsibility that each and everyone must take, and know that every day you wake up, you have to be a better leader. It's a personal development. No one must put you. It is that inborn value in you. One of our leaders, in our forum, we have speakers that we do conferences sometimes. So on this personal development, I would ask speakers to come and present from different industries. So one, and unfortunately, she just passed on. She was buried last month, but we had the opportunity of taping her message. After she passed on, I went back to her message and I listened carefully. And she was a leadership guru also, all over the world. And she was leading many leadership youth forums. And one thing I picked out of the 30 minutes, when she was speaking, because she experienced leading and even leading in the media space. And she said, even in the media space, people would come to her as the owner of a TV station and say, bad news sell. Therefore, what we are talking about, your integrity, is not going to work for us and is not going to make the station go further. And she would say back to them that she does not deal and involve herself with bad news. Therefore, she will stick with the integrity. I promise you the TV station is running perfectly well because she focused on inspiring others about that principle. But in us, when she was talking to us as women, she said, no one can claim that she leads with integrity, pure integrity. But every day you wake up and do better than yesterday. So I want to put it and suggest it to us that can we take a challenge and make sure that every day we wake up, we make sure that all facets of our operations, we do our best to lead with integrity. I understood very well after listening 3 times on what she was saying. There are areas where you would think that you did right. Somebody else would see you not having done right. And now you are seen by someone else as a person who did not perform or operate with integrity. You may have reasons for the way you operated, but everybody, in change management, we say everybody's right to their perspectives. So everyone will be right. But I want to put it to us that if we come across such situations and steps of life in our leadership, checkmate and make sure you are able to come back to your script and to your performance and be able to answer why you took that route in your leadership and you were fully understanding its integrity. We cannot now at this stage afford not to have a personal development every day. Every day we need to evolve. Most of the time we come to these talk environments, the dialogues, I call it a transaction. It's a talk transaction. Can we get to the next level? can we evolve to a level of transformation and be transactional about our talks? And our talks now should be transformational. We talk, we move, we have interacted. Can we transact on this and by doing it? And that will be showing that we are able. And it is not an easy road for some of people who are in leadership positions. Take, for instance, people who are in a board forum. As a board of advisory, you depend on the others, on what decisions you make for the organization. Yes, you are guided by your vision, you are guided by the strategy of the organization. But there comes a times, we have seen it in the boards that have dissolved. There comes a time where some board members, or maybe even the chairperson, we have seen many chairpersons who have failed the organization and the boards. And in those instances, most of them, it will be for their personal gains. So can we take a transaction and take a turn around, the leadership traits that we take and make sure this one of integrity, of doing good, of doing right, taking up the justice of doing right, can we take it as a personal responsibility and a personal development? When you wake up, you know that today, let me not even be inspired to do right. Today, I do right all the time. So integrity to me, it's your journey, and your journey is your destination. As you journey every day, it could be your destination. We don't know when are we, our lives are ending. So as I wake up and journey in the morning, I don't know the end of my journey. Let it be also my destination, that as I journey every day, I make sure I do all the right things. Therefore, every day, never sacrifice yourself for who you are not. Never sacrifice yourself. Be who you are. That is a seed of integrity within you. That is self-completeness. You will be complete within yourself once you do what is right and what is good, and it brings peace. Not just peace, it brings, the environment of leading others towards the right streams. We are, as we lead a day and in leadership, remember, there are many people who are looking up to you. We mentor, we coach by our daily actions and operations. And some of the people that we coach, we don't know them, but they are looking up to you. I receive many inboxes in my LinkedIn and my Facebook and my social media. And some come and ask me to come and speak somewhere. And it's people I don't know, some of them. And they would say, I've been following you, I've been seeing your work. Can you also please partner with us? So every time, wherever, I also want to put it to you that even on social media is a space that many people think it's my world, it's my space. So on my wall, I write whatever I like to write. Remember, one statement that is out of integrity, thinking that you are making a joke, it can ruin your profession and it can ruin your leadership. I've seen it happening to many people. A lot of companies are looking even into social media when they are, going to employ somebody. We are also talking on the platform of Get Jobs. People go on social media and see what is it that you post every day. What is it that you share with your environment? Who are you exactly beyond the desk in the formal environment? So I want to put it to you today that make sure youth leading with integrity, it's your space, but you live in a world, it's not controlling you, but it's a world that is looking up to every human being that is in the world to learn from, to get the goodness out of all of us. The high personal value versus the low. The low is that which you don't desire to do every day, and you even you have to do it. Maybe an example of just one thing. A lot of people don't desire to do laundry, right? And it's a low value for them. But remember, if you put on dirty clothes, you are not on your own when you go out to the marketplace. You are not on your own when you get out of your door and get to an environment of mixing up with other people. That bad smell people will be left with that bad smell. That when he came in, when she came in, wow, did you notice the smell she left in the office? They would just even open up the doors. So your low personal values, also you have to work on them as integrity, because it affects other people around you, and it will also impact badly and negatively on you. We are not all skilled in all values. Therefore, those that you are not skilled on and as a low personal value, make sure that you notice them. Don't despise yourself of noticing on yourself. Oh. I can't.
Okay, is he hanging?
I'm here. I'm back. What happened? I'm so sorry. I'm back again. Yes, yes.
Okay.
I'm here. Let me see. It just said I must. I'm here, but I can't. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. I'm sorry about that glitch.
No, it's all right.
I don't know what happened. Yes, it's all right. All right. I was still talking about, all right, we are on completeness, we are good. And I was talking about the high and the low values, right?
Yes.
So we need also to work on the low values, because it impacts on your personality. Now, youth, I want to again to make sure that I don't take this moment for granted. Every honesty and plain truth is the seed of integrity. And remember the very famous quote that everybody who knows about Dr. John C. Maxwell will quote this: everything rises and falls on leadership, right? Therefore, it is perhaps the most important principle of leadership and dependent on integrity, because it demands truthfulness and honesty. Many companies and organizations fail because they don't follow the reality principle. Integrity means telling the truth, even if the truth is ugly or bad or difficult. Therefore, we have to tell the truth. It pays at the end of the day. Integrity starts within the personal leadership. I have said it before, and on a serious personal note, I always say drive a car with care. Whoever drives a car, you make sure that you drive it with care, because you don't want to be involved in any car accident. And now also when you're in a leadership position, make sure you do it like when you get into a car, nobody tells you when to look on the rear mirror. It comes up automatically. Before you take a turn, you make sure you look up all the mirrors on your left, on your right, the passenger seat, the right, and also the one inside. You always make sure it comes as a basic instinct once you become a driver. Now, once you become a driver in a leadership position, that's what should be happening as well. You can't drive a big organization and now look at making, everybody who is in that car be on a car crash because of you as a driver. You have to be alert all the time. So this car, I put it this way, it's your character, it's your attitude and respect for others. So your character and your attitude and your respect should first serve other people. You are a servant once you lead, and that's integrity. Once you lead and you lead with goodness and doing the right things, you are grounded, you lead from the grounding that comes from the inner strength from within you. Even if you are challenged by those who always come up in the marketplace and don't want to lead with integrity, you are grounded within your strength to make it forward that I am not going to be involved in wrongdoing in this organization. And the attitude is your boldness. So your character is your willingness to stand up for the right thing and to stand up for the right operations. And your attitude becomes your boldness, your confidence in words and action, not just say it, but do it. That transaction must be transformational. And you can even transform the whole department or the organization by saying that you stand up for the right thing. The respect is to obey the principles and the procedures and the processes of the organization. Once you do that, you uphold the values and the culture of integrity. And it can even bring you up to a space of a company that is known to uphold integrity and principles. Hence, we see many companies get the clean record audit record and also get awards at the end of their financial year because of holding up that principle of integrity. So as the youth, I want to put it to us that now we are even on the platform of Get Jobs. Do you know a lot of people, when they prepare for the interviews, you see a job, you want to apply, and you know very well you don't have that experience, but all you want is that position. And the desperation sometimes make people do things that are not right. The authenticity of who you are must be what is really in the paper, in your profile or your CV, your curriculum vitae. Let it be what it is and what you have done. You know what? It comes and tends against you. Once somebody comes into the marketplace and I use the term, that is a casual term, and cooked a CV. If you put in your CV what you have not experienced, personally you have not done, and you put in what you think you can do, or you only studied, don't do that. Let it be authentic in your presentation. Present yourself the way you are really when you want to get that job. If you have not done the experience of a particular position you're applying for, be open to the panelists. Let them know you have only studied it, but you have no experience. They may even give you an opportunity to train you, and you can excel in that position. So it is important to be honest in your CV. It is important not to beef up your CV and put things that you copy and paste from what you have seen on the job that has been advertised. The job spec will come as is, the advert will come as is, but be who you are, because it will turn against you. I'm saying this because in the job environment and in recruitment, I'm also in recruitment space, and we've seen a lot of people putting up their CVs and putting some information of who they are not, but who they would want to be, and think no, I just read this and I can do it. It has put a lot of people in a very bad space. It is fraud to put a CV that is not you exactly. And a lot of people have been taken down from high positions because it has been found out that their CVs, someone would say, I am Professor so-and-so, Dr. so-and-so, or even others have even taken up the, some of the information from other people's work analysis and put it in theirs, and they would say, this is what I've done, and this is my profile. So it is very important that you are honest in your CV, be honest with everything. Every step of your CV should be the important one. So differences in characters, let us really perform in a good character so that we can be lifted up by our performance. Why is integrity such an important leadership trait? Because we have to walk the talk and be a person of good actions. Actions are important all the time. And integrity is the most important trait in leadership, because even in our society, regardless of what other beneficial characteristics exist, it is still that which will lift up a nation and an organization. A person of integrity lives bound sound principles and motivates true ethical behavior. Live by example and not struggle to be a doer of what you present by speech. And it goes back to your value. And then people will not follow someone unless they have established trust within them. Trust is very, very important with integrity, because you have to be trusted with a position. You are entrusted with assignment. You are entrusted with a mandate to lead the organization. Therefore, hence, you have to be that kind of a leader. So I put it as a personal movement, because it is your prerogative. It is your responsibility and accountability to wake up and have that personal movement every day. Draw from your own inner power. Every person has strengths and weaknesses, but your strengths, when you draw from them, they will overshadow your weaknesses, and you will be able to perform even through challenges of being tempted sometimes not to act with integrity. A lot of people have failed with acting with integrity because of just one thing: money and power. Money and power as in positions, and money as having money in your bank account, thinking that it's an answer. Then if you get it in the wrong form, it has landed people rightfully in jail. It has landed people losing everything, being liquidated. So it is important that as we get those jobs, you make sure you have a clean record in your experience and in your workplace. So we have to stand for the right things to say and do all the time. Automatic, unique lanes of a great legacy. Why am I saying they are automatic and unique? Because it's your lane only as Ayanda Morupane. It's you are the only Ayanda, and you are the only one with those fingerprints, your values. I have learned lately from Dr. Damatini that values, each and every person has unique values. There is no one person who has high values that will be like the other person. So it took me to that note of understanding, because of your fingerprints. Your fingerprints you are the only one with them. Therefore, even your high values is your fingerprints in the marketplace or wherever in your environment, in your society. You are the only one with those high values to lead. No matter how roles can overlap, or we can be in similar roles, but your high values, you are the only one with them. So it's your unique lane. Now you have to perform and make sure what you're unique about is what the world should know and also gain from for the better future. So my foundation is on these three attributes: the integrity, goodness, and effectiveness. And I know there's a lot you can put under integrity, even for your own self. You can put, others can fall under integrity, but I have rounded all, and I came out with the top for me as integrity, goodness, and effectiveness. And everybody, can you do that homework and do that exercise? Everything that you thought it's a trait in your world, what you are good at and perfect at, put them into three, categories, and they will all fall under. And on top, put the one that you think it's your highest, and then at least you are balanced. Youth leading with integrity. All leaders need to lead with 100% integrity. No matter how we can say, no matter how we can say we cannot all operate with integrity 100%, but within you, do your best to know that it was your utmost best, that you did all that you did, and it was all with integrity. And the respect is important with understanding of the environment that you're operating on. Understanding with reasoning with people around you. A good leader listens very well. Let your listening skills be important for others so that you can understand their perspective and their understanding and their contribution to all the roles that you play as a team. Reasoning with accountability. Every leader of integrity should have accountability in every aspect of your operations. And that accountability with responsibility, and your responsibility with a vision that is focusing on the dovetailing with the vision of the organization. Every organization has that strategic planning with a vision of 3 years, 5 years to come. And the vision is accomplished and it leads to a great legacy. So every leader should desire to be a part of a great legacy, desire to be in that company and in that organization, in that team that win awards, not just for the sake of winning them physically, but to make sure that you have empowered the nation in your organization. How to deal with honesty with everybody in your team is to respect their roles. Respect other people's roles because everybody counts in the team. We are doing a course where we are facilitating a contribution campus. A contribution campus is looking at all the teams in the environment, in the key teams of operations in a company. And we look at how do they complement each other. That's integrity. We develop and display integrity of practically how do you fit in the team and how do you become a key component in the team as an individual. And then you can all then perform into the utmost effectiveness and efficiency to perform the values of the organization and to be the best. At the end of the day, all organizations are here to service their clients and to make profits for their shareholders. So we make sure shareholders get their profits and the organization give the best services to their customers, and that is our integrity to do the right things. So with integrity, we have to be originals. Be original, be yourself, be grounded in your own leadership, not just style, leadership values. Identify things you will say no to and demonstrate integrity in the leadership. identify the needs of your society, and be a solution. When we are employed as in Get Jobs, you are not just employed just to be in the payroll and you come in and you are waiting for your benefits. I've seen people who come to interviews and the first thing they want to know, even when we identify them for a selection, they want to know their package, they want to know their benefits of the organizations. Yes, it is good, but make sure you are also going to be a good solution giver to the organization. The organizations are not just looking for employees, they are looking for people who are giving the solution to their problem, why they want to put you and to get you and be an employee in that position, so that you can be part of the bigger team to solve a solution for the clients and to solve a solution for and be a benefit to the shareholders. So know your why. Why are you applying for that particular position? Why you come for the masterclass, connected to another organization and collaborate with that organization? What value are you going to put in? Not just want people to give to you only. When we are connectors and also networkers, we bring in a value, we bring in something to the table, and you also get something. And then you can also be sponsored and be, introduced to other companies as well, and be given a good reference to those companies. Know your when and how to execute principles, procedures, and processes in an organization. We are given these PPPs all the time when you, get a new job, or when you get into the new position within the same organization. Now, the PPPs are there to guide you how to lead with integrity in the position that you're leading in. And they guide you to be also aligned with the values, and the organization trusts you that you are going to perform in the alignment of their values, and also be the person who can represent that organization in your position. So the monitoring and evaluation of your outcomes through the vision of the organization is very important, so that you know that you perform and do what the organization has hired you to do. Be the solution and be effective and efficient in putting your organization in the mark. How can a leader embrace the notion of integrity? Leadership with integrity is a journey, as I said before. Every day you wake up and desire to be a good a leader. So you have to put it as a personal challenge every day, that you are going to do this. You look forward every day, not just to do and inspire, but to lead others to the high integrity and to the leadership of high values of your organization. Aim to start and finish well. And that is what I call to be made, to make a difference. We all have to make a difference, and we have to aim high on the difference maker. That is why you see people who are global leadership gurus, who are even called to speak in most of the events, because they have made their mark by their leadership with integrity. Their trace, you trace them, you see they have not failed in their leadership. What they speak and teach is what is being followed, and their principles are being applied. It is important to apply these principles to the value of not just your organization, but of our continent as Africa. I'll put it to you, as the African continent, we have to upskill our values of leading. Be a true game changer. Let's not just take this term of game changers as just one of those things. It's a term that we really all have to be these game changers. Let us not talk it, let's act it rather, and execute effectiveness and efficiency at all times on this principle. It is important to be teachable every day. I learn a lot from others as much as I teach, but I learn a lot from others who have gone before me, who have been in high positions I've not been to, who have been in places I've not been to. I learn from them and also desire to perform in that good space. So the accountability responsible will have you to impart a good knowledge to your mentees, to your coaches, and influence others and inspire them with good principles of integrity. And never stop learning to empower yourself and to empower others all the time. I am close to the finish so that we can have a time for interaction and the questions. Now, can the physical environment influence the integrity of the leader? Yes, it can. Hence, I made an example that in the beginning, there are other people who have, been in positions where they were influenced or overpowered by others, maybe in the board. You are overpowered by other board members to make a wrong decision, and you know for sure this is not of good principles and of any kind of integrity that you even want to be part of. But because of the environment, others would overpower you. That's where we have to stand up for the right and be significant. You have to be significant and focus on your role and the key of your contribution compass. Who are you? What are you good at? What principle, the last core of your basic that you bring into the table that can speak even to others, even to that environment that wants to influence you with a bad and a negative influence. So other people have failed in this area where they were influenced by their physical environment, and you find out that a person who has been leading all the years with integrity, you get into another platform or into another board or an organization, you get involved with a leadership team that is corrupt, and then you fall into the trap. And others didn't even just fall into the trap, they have seen themselves being in that environment and being in that forum, not even knowing that at the back of what they thought they were, they were operating transparently. Yet at the back, some of the members of the team knew how to work with people who are corrupt and how to maneuver the systems, and they find themselves being in that environment. Therefore, now that's why you find others in the commissions of the organization of the countries. And oh, I lost. Hello, lost you again. No, I'm not.
No, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
All right, it gives me another signal. Wonderful. All right, the significance of a physical rotten environment, that you can be significant in that particular environment that is negative. So hence, it is a personal challenge that I put it to all of us, that let everybody be responsible for what is good and what you have to do. If the environment is negative and polluted with negative, corrupt leaders, it is very possible that one person who stands with firm integrity can turn the things around. So never lose your fingerprints, never lose your high values that are authentically yours and nobody else has. Even if the environment is toxic, the environment is challenging you to do the wrong things. Never allow yourself to be changed of who you are. Hence, it has to be a desire from within that you always have to do good. Do good even when no one is looking at you. Reward, or even, I take it further, even if you are not rewarded at that particular time, I promise you one thing, it will pay at the end. It will pay to save yourself, your organization, your society, and your nation. And you do what you were born to do, you will be noticed and you will be followed. People trust, people bank on their trust. Why people follow other leaders? It is because they trust them. It is not because of titles. Great leaders are not known by titles, they are known by actions. And focus on your role in life with your great actions that are positive. And focus on the goals set on oneself and for yourself. We are different people and we have different goals, and therefore our goals should not be distracted because of others. Make sure your goals, because your goals are your purpose, and your passion, a passion leads to a purpose, and it's based on those aims and those goals in life. An environment can influence the integrity of a leader in a negative way. So guard against that and make sure you are not influenced by negative people and negative performances. And again, an environment can influence the integrity of a leader in a positive way. Hence, we see now, I'm going to put it again into you that I see where there are three companies that have come together even for this evening to talk about the youth leading with integrity. It is the Masterclass Initiative, it's Minds Connect, and also Get Jobs. Surely you have seen the good traits between these companies and made sure that we want to work together. So that's a positive leadership. It's going to connect you to other great leaders and other great forums, and those that have the same mindset, and will be able to perform and make sure we lift up the values, not of the organization, of our nation. We need to lift up the values of Africa. We need to lift up the values of leadership in Africa. So the international organizations can be identified because of those values. It is a true example of holistic leadership when you are picked by a global company and say, we want to award that organization, or we would like to work with you in Africa and represent us. So follow the leaders and how they move up the ranks. Follow the good leaders and see how they moved up the ranks. Take their principles, learn from them, and make sure we influence our societies and cities and countries and continents and the globe, and have sustained their position, and we sustain our position as well as global marketplace. And those cannot be the same, but we can learn from them. But as they are not the same, we can customize those values according to our own operations. So let's do that and be of great influence. I just want to leave it here so that we can have time for questions and answers. We can have time to, to interact. I always make sure back home, there are cheerleaders. I don't just go into the environment in the workplace where my daughter cannot even sit in a session and listen to what I'm saying and say, yes, my mom, all what she's saying is the truth and the honest truth about her. So I always encourage others, who we are in the marketplace, be that first at home, to yourself first, to your own family, and to the environment, to the companies that you lead. So for me, that's me. I lead and formed Power to Lead with Integrity. So thank you, Bengozi, Bayedanki, Mesibiene. Thank you, Masterclass Initiative and Minds Connect and Get Jobs for choosing me to be a speaker on the youth leading with integrity. I just want to leave this last line: be a leader that will leave a true legacy. Thank you. Over to you, Ayanda.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I would say really powerful presentation on a topic that I believe is not often discussed. And I think we shy away from this topic because of we don't see a lot of this kind of leadership examples. And I think young people today need to know that actually integrity still matters. And I think if you look at what has happened today in the United States with the appointment of Joe Biden as the president of the United States, I think, he won on the merits of integrity and character. And I think young people today who may still think that this is not important, they need to understand that integrity and character is still very important to what a leader should be all about. So thank you so much for this powerful reminder and for the examples that you gave. And I like the practical thing that you said, that each of us should come up with our own values, of who we are and what we stand for. And I know that myself, whenever I've been through an interview process, I've always been asked, what are the principles that drive you? And, this exercise actually helps you a lot to create to give an understanding of who you are to potential employers, who you are, what you stand for, what are you about? And that really goes a long way. And one of the great examples you gave about how you communicate in social media, be very careful. A lot of the times you see, people being quoted, maybe somebody wrote a quote or wrote a statement many years ago and made a foolish statement, maybe out of anger or frustration. And now today, when they are a leader or a personality, and someone goes into the archives and finds that statement that you made on social media, and that could be the difference between you losing an opportunity and gaining and a door closing on you, simply because you are not mindful of what are you portraying whenever you are on social media, being mindful of the audience. So that is a powerful reminder. Thank you so much, Ntsiki. That was really powerful. And we're just going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to go into the question and answer section, where the audience will then have an opportunity to ask you, and we've already have some questions in the chat. So we'll be right back, everyone. Thank you again to our speaker for a wonderful and very powerful presentation indeed on youth leading with integrity.
Thank you.
I think I need to disable the screen sharing from.
Ntsiki, can you disable sharing? Yes. So we can share. Yes. Thank you so much.
I'm trying to see. Oh, stop sharing. Yes, that's it. Yeah. Awesome.
Hold on.
Yeah, thank you.
Just hold on. Most disabled participants can sharing. Oh, I think I can share for now. Let's just go ahead. I don't have the. Okay, let's just go ahead. Okay. I think, Yanda, let's just go ahead.
Okay, it's not.
Yes.
Is it working?
Yes, I think because I give Ntsiki the rights.
Okay.
Full host
anyway,
rights.
It gives us more time for Q&A, so no problem
Yes.
at all. So the first question we have for you, Ntsiki, is in situations where you are due to attain a post of leadership and the process is hijacked by certain interest groups, what does one do? So I'm sure you're familiar with this scenario in corporate, where someone is due for a position, but then someone comes and undercuts them.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. It happens many times. Unfortunately, in the human resources environment, we have seen there are characters who are there for their own interests that are very negative. And it is not something that is very new. And, you know, people who do wrong, they always come down. And sometimes I have seen people, because she's asking or he's asking for an advice. What do? You know, you have seen that it has been hijacked. That was supposed to be your position, or others have been even appointed. And I think I read of that not long ago, 2 weeks ago, on the newspaper. The person was appointed. And then those who have their own intentions, they have hijacked the system, and the letter of appointment has been withdrawn. And, you know, people who do bad things, they don't last in those things. And also, to go and fight those things in a legal system, you can challenge it in the organization. It is your right to challenge it. You can challenge it, and if they give you still reasons why they are not taking you in that position, you know what? Sometimes things happen for a reason. So if finally they still continue to do their bad things and push you out of the position that the panelists agreed that you qualify for that, then the HR people, they do their own things, or the manager, and you will find out again in these positions, it will be a manager that decides to appoint who he wants to work with or who she wants to work with. So you'll find out sometimes in other cases where people act in corrupt manner, they collide, the manager and the HR manager, to say, this is the person that I want. So no matter what, and they'll even take you into psychometric tests and find out that you still come out the top candidate. But unfortunately, my personal advice, I don't fight further things that I see that are corrupt, because they will also end up you in draining your energy. They drain your spirit. It is good, the first step, to challenge it professionally. You can, it's your right. So challenge it. And if it is not corrected, they still further, collide to do what they want to do, and it is not right. Leave them. Leave it. And you will get the right position where you are not going to fight for it before you get there. Because sometimes you fight for it and you get to that position, they will make you frustrate you further in your operation. They will frustrate you further and painfully. So they will make sure they make you miserable. They set you up for failure. You know, there are people, they can wake up, hence I said every day, wake up and work on your high values. There are people who wake up and work on frustrating people every day. Hence somebody, I think he wrote the book, Snakes in Suits. Because there are snakes who can wake up and try to bite every day. It's there, So leave them, because it will drain your energy. It will break you. And even what you know, sometimes you will always, and sometimes I've seen people end up making mistakes because of being drained in a position you fought for. And there's a team that collided, and they will make sure they frustrate you. So leave it. God will bring you into the right position for you, where you will live and you'll perform with peace and with your mission on earth.
I think that's a fantastic answer. I think most of the time we want to fight, and sometimes you win by letting it go. It may not. Sometimes you do win by letting it go. So thank you for that. So we have some questions coming in from Facebook. The next question is, how can, in a work environment where people you meet on the ground, okay, the questions keep coming, and how can, in a work environment, the people you meet, okay, on the ground, just 1 second, because they're coming, and now I'm missing
Oh,
my
okay,
spot. Okay, how can in a work environment where people you meet on the ground are already corrupt and you as a junior employee, you do not want to be part of that system?
Remember, I said you have your fingerprints. Those are your values. And in the workplace, people can learn from you even if you are a junior. Never allow yourself to be changed of who you are. Now you are sacrificing your integrity and your own self. You are sacrificing who you are if you collide with the evildoers in the marketplace. If you collide with what people are doing because it's in the workplace, rather look for another position. Rather move. In fact, we just say leave, look for another organization. It is not going to help you. It will break you, because now look at the car. I always put it as in this example. You will not be driving on the right road. You are always driving parallel to where you are going, because it's not you. You know your values. You want to do right. You meet a team that already, let me make a pure example. We know for sure there are teams, especially in procurement. Procurement teams are well known by being in that position because they are gatekeepers of the organization. They are gatekeepers of all the operations of, assessing and choosing who must be on the database, because they know there'll be kickbacks. It is not good to get in that environment and join them. Never join a corrupt team, because it will not serve you well at the end of the day. Be authentic. Be who you are. Never, ever lower your value and your authenticity, because you will not be doing justice and good service to yourself, to your organization, to your family. We have seen people who have done that. And now their families are even amazed when they are called to commissions to adhere, to answer, and they are taken to jail. Do you know that if you do that, it may take even 20 years to be identified and to be called? We see people coming up in pages, in list of being corrupt 20 years ago. And you thought they were doing good at that time, and they were, leading and rising in the organizations. It's 20 years later. Now they are coming into commissions of inquiry and answering, and they are being liquidated. I am telling you the honest truth. Leave or go and look for another position. It's not good for you.
Yeah. In the long run, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it at all.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that. The next question, how does one cope in a work environment where the leaders are all about office politics, and no matter what you do, you will never be encouraged? Yeah, it's almost similar to the first. So instead of being promoted, they promote their family and friends, and because you're not part of the politics, you basically have no future there.
Yeah, I know. I've been there. I've experienced that. Even when people, push you completely because you are not part of those politics. And you know what? Stick to your values. I still say it. Your values will lead you to your purpose and to be the good servant that you're supposed to be. And your principles and your values, they will open the good doors for you. It shows that that's not a good environment for you. You are just there because you are there for your bread and butter. But that's not a good environment, and your values will open doors for you. They will work for you. Your values will lead you to a place where you will never regret. If you are suffering because of your values, know one thing, you will be rewarded at the end. There will be a position that will even, make up for what you've lost. But if you turn and be part of not you are not supposed to be, part of political, sometimes you can't even fight those people when they are entangled in that rotten political environment in the office. You cannot even break through, even with your good principles. So that's a time when you really start looking for other jobs. Start looking for where you belong, for where you have to be to fit. And you don't want to wake up and go and fight every day. You want to wake up and go and be, like I said, to be a solution to their organization. Yes, in the beginning, you can challenge things. You don't have to stay back and just keep quiet and run away. It is your right to challenge according to the principles and the values and the strategy and the processes of the organization. You can challenge them. But when you see that as you challenge, they break you, they make traps for you, it is not a good environment for you. But never succumb to be part of a political environment that is evil. At the end of the day, you will see them, they will go down the road. They will surely go down the road. And no matter how long it takes, don't ever align yourself with the office politics that are not good. Always stand for right. If you want to leave a legacy of a great integrity, always do what is right, even if no one sees you, even if you are not rewarded. But your reward will be your open doors to a place where you will be able to operate in a good space and be the inspirer and be the great leader.
Wonderful, wonderful. Just to come back to, the presentation, when you spoke about the values. So maybe, some of our audience are wondering, so how do I know what my values are? How do I, what kind of process do they need to do or go through to identify the values that matter to them?
All right. On the values, remember when I said your high values, they're authentic, they're natural. It starts there on the human behavior. Your behavior as a human being, it's got values, things that you do, things that you align yourself with, the actions that you align yourself with at the end of the day. Take, for instance, people who align themselves with, let me make an example of a problem that we have right now in the countries. People who align themselves with waking up, even at school, with the drug dealers. It doesn't start there with the drugs. It starts with the small things of doing things that you hide. Those things that you are your actions, but you hide when you see an elderly person and you know for sure it is wrong. Those are wrong values. So identify things that you do, actions that you do, and you know that as doing goodness, you identify, oh, I like speaking the truth. I like standing up for someone who is in a situation and to help. I like standing up and just teach when there is an opportunity for me to teach, even if I'm not going to be paid. It's the values that will make you identify your passion and your purpose. Your passion, you wake up in the morning, you are identifying these values. You wake up, what drives you to wake up? And what is it that you know when you wake up you're going to do? You are going to wake up. You have seen in your environment, there are people who are struggling and don't even have food. You have a loaf of bread. You just put butter, you take your juice and go and give them. It's a value of serving, of giving. Identify those good things that you wake up and desire to do. You are in a work environment. Just the example of people who say, here I'm a junior, and then the people already are corrupt, and your value is positive. You are not going to act in a corrupt manner. It is your value to do right. It is your value to work and operate and perform in a manner that the organization, when they hired you, they said, this is what you have to do. And you are not going to do what you are not supposed to do because of the team that you are with. Now, your value is high in operating and doing the right thing. The performance, in your performance, what are the things that you do when you are in the workplace? You want to work and finish the assignment that you have been given. It's a value of accountability. You are accountable for what you have been given as a scope of work to do. And once you desire to perform and to act and to do that thing at the time, specific scope of work and time frames, it's your value to perform. It's a value to, there are people who put in their CVs and say, I can work under stress, I adhere to timelines, yet timelines, they pass, and you are not giving back the feedback or the reports for whatever reason. If there is a reason that is compelling you not to perform or do that, go back to the team and share the difficulties that you are going through. It's a value that you are authentic. It is not intentional if you are seen as a person of not operating according to the timelines, because you come up and say, no, I cannot because of A, B, C, D. It's a value of responsibility and accountability. Even at home, identify at home, leaders are identified back home because of those values. You wake up, you make others to clean the home and to make sure there's cooked food, they are taken care of. That's a responsibility, that's a value. You are responsible, you are taking care of others. It leads to the marketplace, it leads to leadership of seeing that even in the organization, there will be a leader who will identify people who are doing wrong things and also making others be under that spell and that authority of their negative authority of wanting to push them into the wrong thing. It's because that value, it started back home by not wanting to see others going through pain and being controlled negatively. So identify those values accordingly.
Great examples.
Yes,
great examples, great examples. Now, the next question we have is, when we're looking at the youth today, and the role models that they have, how can we expect them, to stay strong with their values when the leadership around them is not role modeling this consistently?
This is that's a challenge that I put it to the youth today. That, remember, let me take the position of the elderly. As the elderly, we have failed you. A lot of leaders have failed you as youth. This is not the life that we were supposed to be living right now. If the leaders were not corrupt, they didn't squander the monies of their countries. Youth were supposed to be in positions and working. Monies were squandered. Now in South Africa, the rate of unemployment is very painful. Youth that have done their best, have given all, have gone, the sacrifice of going through school, of going through university, because you have an edge, you want to be inspired, you want to excel in life, you want to be in a position, you want to have an education. And at the end of the day, you finish your degree, you come to the marketplace, there are no positions. All positions are roaming around, nepotism. It is very discouraging to the youth. Hence, I put it to you that as we have failed you as adults and leaders of the country, take it upon yourselves today to make a difference because of what you have gone through and because of what you have seen in the countries. It should not continue to the next generation. It is your responsibility as youth today to change these nations. It is our trust as us as well is only on you. Our hope as this generation, as we teach these principles and say, no matter what, no matter how you can see that it was as if the leaders of the countries were living large, but do you see what is happening at the end? Their bank accounts being frozen, their properties being taken away from them, some having been taken to jail, some having been even killed in their evil things, in their own rotten ways, corrupt ways that they are doing. Is that the life that you want to see as youth of today? Yes, you are living in this kind of environment. It is painful and draining for you as youth, but I put it to you that it is your personal challenge. Take it upon yourselves. If you were saying, because there are youth who are saying, I mean, what difference does it make? We can just, join them. And in fact, there is so much youth leaders that are being used by the high authorities to channel even their monies in the corporate or to channel through their organization. Just say, register a company and come and register in my database. Then their monies that they squander, it goes through that youth organization, because now the companies are taking youth and women, empowering them. So don't allow yourselves to be used in that corrupt manner as youth. Don't allow yourselves to be dysfunctional and to be delicate, with those people who are now being used in bad operations in the marketplace. Take a responsibility from today that I am going to make a difference. Even if I thought there's no hope, there is hope because you are there. You are the one now who must take the right baton. Let's go back to the basic principles that every person has good values within. Is this the future that we want to see? No. So let's all take the responsibility. Don't be watered and don't change and do wrong things that you see. All other youth around you, can they be inspired by you? Can they be changed by you? Can you teach them to do the right thing even in this era? So let's change the world together.
Thank you so much. I think that's a positive, wonderful note to end the Q&A on. I don't know, engineer, do you have anything to say? Thank you so much. I think, I really feel it comes at the right time, looking at, as I said, what's happening in the US and what we've seen happening in Africa over the last couple of weeks, the challenges with leadership. I think definitely young people need to see more examples of leadership with integrity, but young people need to be, the youth of Africa need to be those leaders. They need to aspire to be those type of leaders themselves for the future, because character, you can have everything, like you said, money and all, but character at the end of the day is one thing that will stand the test of time. So thank you. That was spot on. Thank you so much for that powerful presentation on a very critical topic. Engineer, I don't know if you have any words to say in closing.
Yes, thank you so much. I've been listening with rapt attention, and I've actually been communicating with our Facebook viewers. And I think as we're about to start the session, that was the same time that they were announcing in the United States of America. So I think it's so coincident that character and integrity is the most important thing. You can have talent without character is zero. And I think this addresses a lot of questions for our youth. So thank you so very much, Madam Ntsiki. Thank you so very much. And we would love to have you more on this platform for your wisdom.
Yes.
Thank
My
you so
pleasure, sir.
much. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you to our speaker. Thank you, Masterclass Initiative, Get Jobs Nigeria. It was again another insightful session, and please follow us on all the social media platforms. And if you want to review this session again or listen to it again, please do so on our YouTube channel, Get Jobs Nigeria, and on the website, Get Jobs Nigeria. You can connect with Ntsiki on LinkedIn. You can connect with her, I think, on Instagram, on YouTube. I think also she has some videos. So connect with her. She would love to, give some wisdom to some of you who may be in need. And we've had someone thank you to various forums. We found ourselves a lot. Thank you. So there's a thank you here in the chat. So thank you so much for your time. I know that it's quite late for many of us, but thank you all for joining in and tuning in. And thank you so much to Engineer for the great work you're doing.
Thank you so
To
much.
share this, sessions with your constituents to make sure that they're empowered, enabled, and educated. And we hope to see you again next time when we have the next session, which is scheduled for next week, I think the 14th. And please look out on social media for the topic and the speakers. It promises to be another great one as always. Until then, have a wonderful weekend. Be safe and God bless you.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.